leanings and ravings. And I'd like to pass on now to Leni.
I was up late finishing doing stuff at the exhibition, so I wrote stuff down because I was going to just go for it, but I usually swear when I go for it, so I'm not going to do that today. I would like to preface my comments on the University of Newcastle and my experience as a student here with a bit of history. I grew up in Sydney and came out at 15 and fled both home and education for a gay ghetto that I would have happily lived and died in. But when I was in my early 30s, I decided to pop out a couple of kids and then went hormonally insane and decided they needed space and a trampoline in the backyard, which is hard to get in Glebe, so I moved to the Central Coast, which was a great idea. I worked there for a while and lived there and created my own little kind of ghetto of me and my family. And then decided, another one of those great decisions, where I thought if I go into work another day, I'm going to take a gun and kill them or me or all of it. So I thought, I'm going to go on and get an education. I'm going to uni. And it was just that quick. And that's what I did. And I went and did Open Foundation at the Aruba campus and embarked on a BTEACH BA, which I left behind and went and did a BA because I couldn't stand the teaching students or staff. So I'm going to be frank with you. So and then, you know, the greatest thing this university has given me is the girl of my dreams, Leni Johnson, and we met on campus here, and I and my children moved to Newcastle, and I finished a BA last semester, I think. Yes, it was, wasn't it? Yeah, last semester, and then next year I'm going to go into a Masters of Teaching, as much as I hate them all, because I think, you know, we need to do something in high schools for kids like Eric was talking about. And unfortunately, I'd never get a husband. I'd be a husband. I don't have the opportunity of passing. And one of the funniest experiences about setting up the exhibition has been the indulgent looks that I've gotten from people looking at the exhibition, because I'm clearly the lesbian. Like, what the So I've been getting a lot of that, which has sort of kept my good humour up. But so I speak about my experience now as a student here, which, as I say, has given me two things. It's given me a fantastic education and my partner, and it's been great to be here. But on the other hand, of course, there is a downside, and that's something I think that we actually need to look at. And, you know, sadly, the staff that are here are open, whether they're gay or not, they're open to ideas like this, and these aren't the people that I need to speak to, really. But anyway, when I was asked to speak here, I thought back over my time at the University of Newcastle and about significant incidents related to my homosexuality. What is striking about the overt incidents of homophobia I have experienced here is the utter lack of action on the part of the lecturers involved. While in my experience, racist and sexist comments are immediately confronted and refuted, as the face of homosexuality in the classroom, and often the first gay person other students have met, I have been the target of these students' anxieties, but have been left to defend myself and homosexuality in general. In the worst incident, I was verbally abused in class by a middle-aged male student who held me personally responsible for the increasing visibility and social acceptance of homosexuality. I wish I could claim it. This future primary school teacher was against any acknowledgement of homosexuality, including same-sex families, and refused to believe there could ever be lesbians with children living where he planned to teach, which was where I lived. When I spoke to the lecturer later about this incident, she simply stated that she knew I could take care of myself. A response I've also received from other lecturers. Yes, I can defend myself, but this is not the point. If I am forced to be the lone defender of homosexuality, I speak seemingly without the backing of the lecturer or the university, and this cannot change a homophobic classroom environment. This lecturer gave me 100% for my next assignment, which was nice, but was little more than a bribe. And this brings me to another issue. You may wonder why I didn't lodge a complaint about this incident. Put simply, it was because the person I would be complaining about had 3 more papers to mark for me, and I had no faith in her ability to put aside her feelings and mark these papers fairly. The other student's behaviour was unaddressed by the lecturer, and because of her inaction, he continued to feel it was his right to express a personal loathing of divergent sexualities in class. I continued to confront him and came to be seen by the class as a rabid man-hating lesbian. Now, a lot of people do see me this way generally, but this was more specific. A dissenting voice in a class now emboldened by the lecturer's inaction. I expected more when I came to university. I expected to find others as passionate about learning as I was, and I did meet some like-minded individuals. However, I was shocked by the levels of overt homophobia in classes and by the P gets a degree ethos that is pervasive. You cannot make people want to learn, but it is clear that in a society that respects the rights of the individual, placing constraints on people's behaviour is not only acceptable, it is essential. Because I also have children, I have a comparison between levels of the education system, and I have come to the conclusion that university is no different to primary and high school, in that it is the administration and the individual educators who have the power to create change. When the Department of Education decided to begin the process of eradicating bullying in schools, it must have seemed an insurmountable task. Yet now, schools have begun to change a bullying culture so endemic that most would have considered it static. There is a Latin maxim, which, out of courtesy to my partner, I won't butcher here, but it translates as, "He who is silent is understood to consent." Inaction on the part of my lecturers has enabled other students to make increasingly outrageous, homophobic statements in a Lord of the Flies atmosphere that sought to destroy the dissenting voice. Lecturers and the university's administration are not only in a position to create change, they are legally and morally obliged to change an environment that excludes some for the comfort of the majority. And that's my rave.